San Diego, and yeah, no, it was a great con. I want to go back as a vendor, not this time. Next time I go, I'll be going in media. If I go, like I literally just read the email this morning, so I gotta give an answer to him today. I'm gonna say tentatively yes, but I'm gonna
We
have
can
to.
make it work. Do it.
That's what I'm going to try to do. That's what I'm going to try to do. I'm in a weird spot in the sense that so my freelancing gigs are steady for until the end of July. So I have to how do I put this? I have to get ready for what's next
Mm-hmm.
post. I may have I have a regular contract for a year with a publisher. I'm writing blogs for them.
Okay.
I have a regular contract there. Um, I have some other things I'm working on, and like I'm always pushing, like I'm advertising for people now. It's kind of what I've been doing, and it's fun. It's fun. Getting people to bite has been a challenge because especially an author will go, I don't want to advertise, but you kind of need to. It's kind of one of those. If you're in business, you're advertising. You know,
It's the one thing we hate.
I don't hate it as much, but I do it. I do it for other people, so it's I don't hate
That's
it as much.
different. Yeah, that's different.
Oh, even for myself, like I kind of go with the professional pro wrestling approach, right? Which is okay. You need a little bit of ego, not so much ego that you can't go over the top, right? So
I can see that. Yeah.
yeah, but you have to like confidence sells. Like you can't you like I actually was looking at a buddy's webpage. I was interviewing him for the Patreon. He showed me his webpage. I'm like, you gotta get rid of anything that says aspiring on your taglines. Anything you have to get rid of it. It doesn't sound confident. Like that's the only problem with it. Like if you do aspiring, it comes across like you're trying to like you're going for it's cool. Like again, you may not be a master, and I get that. You don't want to be like you saying I know everything,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, no one's gonna want to hire an aspiring anything. Right? No one. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it, and I struggle with that too. Like
Yeah.
sometimes people lay on the confidence a little too much, and that gets a bit annoying.
That goes the other way, right? That's
Yeah.
too much. I can definitely push on that. I push more towards that end than the other, right? Just my own experience and stuff like that. But what it comes down to is like I just look at if you're looking at it from a sales perspective, it's better to be you got to be humble when you deal with people, and you need to be humble when you deal with people. But when you're trying to sell, if you have to pick between not confident enough and overconfident, I would rather overconfident. At least you're getting yourself out there, right? Whereas the guy that's not confident is always selling themselves. You don't want to damn yourself with the faintest of praise. That's the problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
That can be damning. So I mean, if you have to go in, you might as well go all the way in. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. I see.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's why I suck at marketing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but that's it, right? Because well, the thing is, you're the irony is you're the best marketer for your book, and the reason is really simple. You spent the most time with it, right?
True. It's true. Yeah.
It takes a lot of like care, compassion to craft anything, right?
Yep.
Right? It just does. And the truth of the matter is, you have to be willing to how to put this. You have to care to put that much work into anything,
Yeah,
even if
and
it's
the
that, even
trick
if.
is making other people care as much as you did.
But that's the thing. That's why you have to enunciate your care, right? That's the thing. That's why you would rather overconfident. Like I would rather that because I know you care, right? I don't necessarily need Donald. I'm not talking politics. I'm talking marketing. Donald Trump obnoxious. I don't necessarily need that,
That's
right?
over the top. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But give the devil his due, right?
Okay.
Give the
Yeah.
devil his
Yeah.
due, right? I mean, it's the lesser of two sins, right? Like saying like I can say again, I'm not trying to make money with it as much, like drawing. I can say I'm a competent artist, but I'm damning myself when I say that because that means I'm not good,
Okay.
right? I chose like word choices, like
Yeah.
again,
No, I get you. I get you.
right? So, but I can say that because drawing's fun,
Okay.
right? right?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. And like I said, that's why I suck at marketing, because I've never been able to capture that ability to make other people feel as passionate as I do. I just throw my passion into the work. And
And, and there's something to be said about that too. Like honestly, there's something to genuinely be said about being genuinely passionate about those things you do, right? And I did it. So one of the Patreon interviews I did, and it leads you to cool places. So I did a Patreon interview. So I live in the Northwest in Calgary right now, and the road we're on not the road we're on, the main road that links to the place, going all the way to the end, right? Um, it goes to a pond, and in that pond there's like it's like for a bird watching point of view, because it leads to this road. You go south just like about maybe a quarter of a mile, maybe, and you get to this pond, and in this pond's like all this wildlife, and you're almost like it's like this little pocket of nature that you can't see any buildings or anything around it, and it's in the city. I hadn't seen anything like that in a city since I was in Snowflake, Arizona. It was just like, because in Snowflake, the town in the borders, there's like a gap in the middle of the city, and it's all farmland. Like it's just like between Snowflake and Taylor, they're essentially one city. It's the most bizarre thing. It's like it's the only town I've ever seen where you'll see a farmland, like some kind of vestige of a town, more farmland, then the more vestige of a town, then more farmland, then it's the school, then it's like the main city in Snowflake, which actually feels a little bit like a city at least, right? At least when I was there. So this feels almost the same thing. Like in this big giant city, there's like this like cool little space I never imagined existed, and I think that's a really damn cool thing.
you found your own personal private pocket of nature.
Yes, I did, and that's thanks to the podcast, right? That's thanks
Nice.
right. It's thanks to the podcast. Like it all leads to places, and I think that's such a fascinating, thing. Um, and it's one of those things where I look at it and go like that. My passion led me here, as much as like because of the people I meet and the lives I've influenced.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, but like I said, passions and everything. You're a great writer. I actually found your book when I was going through my storage locker.
Oh no. Which one?
No, I did. No, it's fine. It's in the same. I kept it. It's in the same box it's been in.
Aw.
Yeah, I couldn't keep all the books. Oh, I've met so many people over the years. So
Oh no, I get that.
yeah, I couldn't keep all of them. I'm also at that, like, and this is the thing, I'm at the love-hate relationship of either I really love something or I don't. And in this point in my life, right, I'm trying to keep the stuff I really love.
Yeah.
Stuff I don't, right? So, for example, comics. That's why I'm like sorting the comics. Like I'm keeping an absurdly higher amount of comics than I thought possible. I went through my so I had my long boxes, and then I had these boxes of some of my older books, and it's amazing. It's amazing, like the memory lane trip I go through, seeing some of the books I've seen. It's like, wow, I grew up reading this shit. Hey, Anita.
Hey, Anita.
Hey. No, it's just it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, so now I'm at that point, and now I'm just like, I got so many books, and some of them I can't keep, and some of them I don't want to keep, but I also, like, unlike the CDs and the DVDs and even the video games and stuff that I just got rid of throughout this whole process of living here. I actually want to get some value for the comics, because I've held them for a long time. So I've been putting them on eBay. Like I'm doing a test this weekend. I'm going to a farmer's market and selling my comics there, and kind of seeing how it does there.
Nice.
Because if I don't have to ship it, that would be
Oh yeah.
that would be a
That always
better
cuts into profits when you have to worry about the shipping and stuff.
Oh yeah, I shipped to the States with the first 2 orders I sold.
Oh my god.
But the first one wasn't so bad, because it wasn't like a big pile of books, but I sold like 40 books, And it was like, dear God. Dear God. Yeah. Now in Canada, it'd be about half of what I paid. But
Right.
but
But you ship from Canada to the US or the US to Canada. It's just,
it's
ouch.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous right now. Holy crap. I worked for a shipping company, so I know how it works. Right? It's like, wow.
Yep.
With
Yep.
that much money being given, I mean, do I get a blowjob with that? I mean,
No.
Jesus.
Yeah, I hate it anytime I have to send books. It's like, oh God, it's gonna hurt. I don't want to know.
Well, again, it's not a problem. It's not like books would be worse because they even weigh more than comics do, right? Comics at least. Yeah, definitely. I definitely should. I would at least be smiling when I walk out the door, right? Definitely, Anita. Definitely, right? It definitely should. But no, it's just one of those things where you learn, right? You just like, okay, this is what the eBay process is going to be like. And again, I do see it still as my primary way to getting rid of a lot of the books.
Sure.
But if I can like do farmers markets on weekends and like I said,
Yeah.
I got more books than I thought. I thought it was just 3,000 books to sell. It's closer to 3,500. It's
Oh,
like, oh
that's
yeah,
a lot.
that's a lot. And
Yep.
that's not including the shit I'm keeping. Like that I had something like 5,000
Yum.
comics. Yeah.
Yum.
That's what I said. Right? Damn. Right? So yeah, like it's going to be a wonderful it's going to be a wonderful time. Like, getting rid of it, but it's going to take a process. Like I thought it'd be
Mhm.
like a couple months. It's going to be probably closer to 6 to 8 months probably to get
Yeah,
rid of it.
I could see that. That's a
Yeah.
lot of books that you're moving.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time and more than I thought. So it looks like I'm gonna be like if I do make some traveling stuff, it's gonna be like short burst if I go this like right this year, which sucks. I really wanted to go this year, but meantime, I gotta like I said, I have some I have some how do I put this? I have some security in sense like I do run my psychic at the Saddle Dome. So that's still going for like yeah, I'm in summer mode now, so I have less time there.
Haha.
Right. I get to
I
work
know that feeling.
yeah. I get no, like I've been working the football games, which are longer days, ironically, than what they were at the Saddle Dome. But there are less of them. Like there's significantly less of them. So it's like, oh, okay. Like I work next week. Like this next one I'm gonna do. So I'm trying to get some more freelance. Like this month I'm fine, but like trying to get some more freelance work. I'm trying to get some more stuff. And yeah,
It's the grind, man. It's the grind.
that's life. That's life.
It's not supposed to be, though.
I had an epiphany about that. It kind of is. Like, you're going to deal with ups, you're going to deal with downs, you're going to deal with lefts, you're going to deal with rights. And you're just going to have to accept that certain things are the way they are. And that's just the way it is. Right. And I've learned this today I learned this. And it's all good. But again, at this point in my life, I've hit this point in my life where it's just like, I can do what I want. That's a wonderful feeling.
See, that's good, though. That's good. As long as you're able to afford to do the things you enjoy doing, it's worth putting up with the crap.
How to put that? I've come to the point where I care about time more than money. Like that's where I've come to the point.
Okay.
Ironically, I've made more money doing that, but it's a weird little thing. But I've noticed this. I've been so this year I got some more advertising business in the last few months. So again, worrying about creating time and doing what I love to do. I got a book I'm going to be editing at some point soon. I may be doing another book. I'm doing my first full edit job. We'll see. She just got a publishing deal with the book, so she might want to go with them. And fine with it. Something tells me that that job would be
Your
more than
spidey senses are tingling.
that one. Yeah, I don't think she's a bad person or anything like that. But I also get like this is her first novel, and I'm not. And I'm an okay editor. I'm an okay editor, but there's also a point like I'm not sure I'm the best person for a. I'm good for a new person in the sense that I could show some different tricks and techniques,
Mm-hmm.
especially with voice. That's where I'm really strong at is voice. It's when I deal with how do I put this? The real nuanced technical stuff, the deeper stuff. I can do line edits. I can do some copy edit stuff for sure if it needs to be done. But I'm not sure with a new person that I have like this is just me being honest as an editor. I have the skill set to go, okay, let's rewrite this stuff here is soggy. Here, you go do this some more. Because I can't touch it. Because if I touch it, it won't be yours, it'll be mine. And that's not a good and that's the hard part when you're an editor, right? Because you make the book better, but the thing is you make it worse if you compromise the author's voice.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't be compromising the author's voice. The focus, it sounds like you're talking about more developmental editing.
Yeah.
And liken it to being an actor.
Yep.
You have to be able to step into the characters' roles, understand the characters, and if there's something missing, that's what you're pointing out to the author to fix.
Yes.
What is the missing piece that's making this character or their character situation not complete, not connect the dots?
Mm-hmm. No, it's fair. Like it's totally a fair deal. Yeah, and like I said, with that, it's being honest with what you do. Like the other job is mostly a proofing job, which is just that. Okay, I'm going to be reading a lot of forwards and backwards. I've learned it's important to read work backwards when you edit. Like I've learned that because you don't get lost in it, like as much. Because what happens is you probably had this when you're editing a book for a client. It's like, okay, I'm editing, and suddenly you get hooked in the book. And next thing you know, you're 30, 40 pages down. It's like, oh shit, I didn't edit a damn thing.
That's a sign of a good story, though. If you're falling into it that easily, then the story is doing what it's supposed to do.
Oh no, it's fantastic, but you're not doing.
Yeah, it's harder to go back and no, I get that.
Yeah, and also because again, it's forced from tree stuff, right? Because now, because it's so easy to fall into it, there's these little things now that you're looking at to make it even flow better.
Mm-hmm.
If you read it forwards, you're gonna fall under the book spell at some point.
Interesting. That's an interesting way of doing it. I've never done it that way.
I learned it from Jonas Saul.
Everybody has their style, and what works for you. I mean, that's what you do.
Well, I like that because what you pointed out is like when you read it backwards, you don't get as sucked in. You can still get sucked into the page,
mm-hmm.
but you come right out of it because what happens is it's just the page. So now you can go back in. And it's like, okay, that was an amazing page. I want to read it. I want to. No, and you just grab him the hand like no, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, it is what it is, and I'm sorry, I'm not quite all the way here yet. I'm almost all the way here yet.
Still off in La La Land just a little bit.
Little bit. I'm just planning on what I'm doing. I'm just going forth and just doing what I need to do, and it's been an experience, like I said. So.
The freelance life is interesting.
I love it. And there are moments I hate it, but most of the time I love it.
The freedom that it affords you is worth the stress that it can cause.
Yes. Yeah.
That's one of the things that I appreciate so much about being able to freelance is I'm here for my family when they need me. My schedule can accommodate other people's needs. So I know I'm always taking care of what's really important, and it's because I have the freedom afforded by my job. then again, there's those times where I have to shut myself in my room and say, guys, don't bother me. I'm going to get this done. And, we just have days where I may be trapped and, strapped to my desk.
Oh,
What to do?
I know that feeling. Like there are days I still do. Some days when I'm here, I'm here for like, and I'm grant you, I fool around a little bit here and there, right? But even so, there are days I'm sometimes in this chair for like 8 to 12 hours. There's some days I'm like today. Like today, I have to actually I'm hunkered down. Yesterday I either misheard it or it was miscommunicated, but it cost me a day, and I have to
Oh,
kind of make out. I kind of made yeah.
what happened?
Oh, it's personal. It's dirty
Oh,
laundry.
okay.
It's dirty laundry. I don't want to air it on the air.
Nope. I got you.
It's dirty laundry. I don't want to air it on the air. It's one of those things where it just was like I could have swore I heard it go one way, right? And hey, yeah, I'll take the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I misheard it, but I don't think I did. So, and it cost me a day. It cost me a day is basically what it did, and
Has that been happening a lot lately? I have to stop you real quick. Where you could swear something was supposed to be one way, and like 100% of you is just this is how it was.
Oh,
Come to find out, nope, you were wrong the whole time. And when you go back and look, it's like, am I in the Matrix? Did something completely change? Because I could have sworn when I looked at this, talked to this person, whatever, it was this way, and somehow it is completely the opposite. Like that's been happening a lot to me lately.
So in this particular case, I like to think I listen well. I mean, I do this all the time. I was asked to do something yesterday, and I'm not going to go into the details. And I thought it was because it was very vague in terms of I did not hear the time frame, like the specific time frame of when it happened, when it was supposed to happen. I heard the day. So what I did was I took the day away from the house to accommodate, and because that's what I heard, right? I didn't hear a specific time. So I come home and it was that what was supposed to happen was supposed to happen then. And it was like, and it was one of those moments where I was like, I thought about it, did I mishear it? And I went back to my memory. It's like, nope, I don't think I did. Right. I don't think I did. Right. But again, benefit of the doubt moment here. It's possible. I'm not going to say because I'm certainly not infallible, but at the same time, I listen for a living. It's kind of what I do.
I'll give you an example. I read an email a week ago when I was out of town. I had been working on a project, just a small graphic design project for someone. And while I was out of town, I remember reading the email, and they wanted specific changes. They gave me color codes they wanted to use, and they were going to go with the last design I sent them. That was all the email said. I swear that was all the email said.
Mm-hmm.
When I got back home and opened the email up again, there was more in there that I did not see. And I had read the email over while I was out of town a couple of times just to make sure I understood it.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, like a whole new line appeared with a different direction they wanted to go.
Yeah.
How does this happen?
Mm-hmm.
I swear, it's like I'm in the Matrix and someone changed something between that week and this week. I mean, it was still doable, obviously, but thank God I reread it and didn't just do what I had remembered and sent it off, because then I'd embarrass myself.
Mm-hmm.
But that's been happening a lot lately.
Yeah, no, it could be again. This could be just the fact that also, and again, owning my own shit here, right? It could just simply be the fact that I'm so caught up doing so many different things. It's possible that the information just went in funny.
Yeah,
right.
Only some of it stuck and the rest of it just kind of flew out.
Yeah. It's possible. Like I'm a big enough man to admit it, right? But at the same time, this particular case is no. I don't necessarily think so. But at this point, it is.
You just got to do what you got. What you're supposed to do.
Like one way or the other, it's done, right? Like so, you have to move on, and it's like, okay, this is how it goes, and this is what it is, and you learn, and it's how to put this again without airing too much dirty laundry. I learn more when I confront somebody than when I don't, right? And that right about it. So it's like 'cause it was just one of those. Okay, let's
Well,
do
when you
it.
use the word confront, it sounds confrontational,
It kind
but
of
just communicate.
yes. That is a good
Communication is
word. Yeah.
always important.
Yes. A little. No. No. No.
Yes, have that
Sometimes.
obsession. That
Oh,
is good.
Anita. Sometimes. Honestly, yeah. It's good. It's good to double, triple check. It's really easy to get lost in the moments, right? So, um, it happens like tomorrow. Again, I'm double checking tonight because I'm doing another Patreon episode tomorrow. Like I'm doing more Patreon shows now than I'm doing podcast, and
Okay.
I got to ramp this. I got to kind of ramp it down the other way because I want to wrap the podcast up at this point. It's no like I'm at. Let's see. I'm at it's 977. It's going to be I think episode 1006 is going to be my last version of this.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah. Then I go to 1007, which is technically already up. You got to go on Patreon if you want to go get it, but it's already up. I got 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just I'm evolving the concept. I'm actually going backwards too in some ways. The biggest thing I missed when I started these podcasts was I would interview somebody in like a bar, right? And I'd have a waitress come up in the middle of our bar asking for an order and stuff like that. It was a wonderful, like, it's cool to interview in the world. As much as I've enjoyed these Twitch conversations, and I truly do enjoy them, I'm looking forward to not doing them for a little while. It's going to be nice not to have. I might still do one here and there, but it will be a here and there, not a regular thing, right?
When
And
there's time for it.
yeah, exactly, right. But because again, I filmed at a pond yesterday. Or 2 days ago, day ago, I filmed at a coffee shop. It's kind of fun. The day after, I'm filming at probably looks like we're filming at a restaurant tomorrow. So
Cool.
that's what it looks like. And then I got to find more people for. And again, now it's like finding more people. But now, hey, let's do stuff in the city or outside the city or that kind of stuff.
That
You
sounds
know.
like fun.
Yeah, that's what I want. Like I want to capture that. So Dr. Seuss is obviously one of my favorite little references, right? Oh, the places you will go and the people
Mhm.
you will meet. That feels awesome.
I like that idea. That's cool.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with this.
And that's where your passion is. Back to what we were talking about at the beginning.
Yeah,
Put
no,
your passion into it.
well, that's why I want to go on the road because can you just imagine where I could go? Like, even if I don't even have to do an interview show. I could actually do one of those, like, oh my God, I'm in this really cool space, right? Like space shows, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do that every time because again, if you do that every time, people are going to be like, well, yeah, but we've done this, but it's a once in a while thing. I miss stars. That's the one thing about small towns. I miss stars. Like in big cities, you can't see them, but in small towns, oh, they're everywhere, and it's one of the most beautiful things you'll ever see.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see stars at all, really. Very few stars show up in the city.
Yeah. I want to give you both I want to give you probably the nicest compliment I can give you, but also maybe just you're one of the nicest people I've ever had the pleasure of chatting with. Legit.
Aw.
Legit. No, you are genuinely. I worry you're too nice sometimes. That's my only thing with you is you're genuinely sweet
A
and
people pleaser comes to mind.
maybe, but I see. I've learned how to embrace my inner villain. It's kind of fun. So I can turn it on, turn it off.
I don't have that kind of control.
Yeah. Well, I learned it. It wasn't an overnight process. I just realized like sometimes you gotta stand up for yourself. That's just how it is. And you're right. Even if right?
I'm
So
learning it, but I'm
yeah,
learning it differently.
there are ways. You don't have to do it my way. You just have to do it your way.
No, I laugh because like the joke that I always tell people is I get my ass kicked for fun. And
Some women really like that, I guess. I don't
since
know.
joining, learning combat sports and doing that, it's actually improved my confidence
Yes, it would.
in
What
in a
what
lot of ways.
what's your
So it's been helpful.
what's your martial art?
So I belong to an MMA gym, so it's
Oh shit!
mixed.
Oh god! So now you can turn me into a pretzel.
So
Hey,
I
Josh.
literally get my ass kicked for fun.
I am actually like legit. I am contemplating getting myself when I'm a little bit more settled down and settled in, get myself into position to actually do one fight in the cage. One.
Oh,
One. Not
just
not
one.
just does I don't I'm not looking to get to like the big stuff. But again, I'm 41, I'm gonna be 42 this year. My window, if I'm gonna do this, is about 4 years. That's my window. Because after that, I don't think I can realistically do it, right? Not be any form of competitive, right? And because again, I don't need to win. That's not the thing. I don't need to
Survival
win,
mentality.
right? Right? But it's like when I play Magic. I play Commander, right? I don't need to win. I want to be competitive in the games I'm playing.
Hmm.
That's the important thing. I don't necessarily need to win. If I'm competing, that's good enough for me, right? I'm doing stuff. They're doing stuff. They get me. Cool. I have a losing record in Commander, and I will have one probably for the rest of my career because it's really hard to win every game in Commander. But the thing is, I want to be able to do stuff like the deck I built. I want to be able to play it and do things and interact with my opponent. And we have a good back and forth. You know what I mean? We have that moment, right? Right. So, but but that's the thing. So if I was in the cage, I figure 45 is probably my absolute limit. But I would try it at 46. I think once I get to 47, 48 years old, my body's going to say, you know what, dude, you can't do this.
You better get training then.
I'd better, yeah. So, but
It,
yeah,
it,
and again, for the first and again, like for the first 2 years, I know I'm just going to get my ass kicked too. Like that's just that's just the gig.
that's part of the way it kind of builds and breaks down your confidence at the same time. If you start with no confidence, then you're only going up. But
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu, which is part of MMA, is a sport for people who are okay with sucking.
Yeah.
Because you literally, you fight to failure. You have to tap out.
Yeah.
You give up, and that's okay. You go in it with no ego, and you just like the survival mentality. I want to see if I can make it 5 minutes without getting submitted. That is a win for me. I
Yeah,
know
no.
I am years away from ever being as good as half the people in my gym. But if I can survive around with them, that's a win.
Yeah, but the thing is that they're looking at it like they're enjoying teaching you, right? You're learning
Oh yeah.
techniques.
Oh yeah.
You're learning techniques.
It's
I
fun. It's awkwardly hilarious because some of the positions. I mean, you joked about turning someone into a pretzel. Yep. And I
no
always
no no
joke that.
no legit. Like I know people who can legitimately go into a gym and just basically run the place. Basically, right? They can do whatever they want in the cage in the cage and in the mat and pads. They can do what they want. And I watch them. It's just like the confidence and also like the mastery too. To be able to do that, because some of the people they're doing that to are really good themselves. It's just like, right. But they've been doing it to such a degree. It's almost like an obsession.
Yeah.
Right. And you understand that. Right.
It's a fun thing though, because for me at least, as long as I'm learning something new, it keeps my interest up.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that 10, 12 years worth of learning, I still won't know everything. Every time I go into class, I'm learning something new, and that keeps me interested. I learn a new way to get out of something. I learn a new way to put somebody in a strange hold. I figure out a way not to get myself triangled, which I still haven't yet to do. I joke that I will probably meet my next love interest at the gym, because that is the best way to get through all the icebreakers, is when you got somebody trapped between your thighs and you're trying to choke them out. You get real familiar with them real quick.
But you're like, I think I'm in love, and they just pass out right in there. Right in there. See, that's a scene right there you can write. It's like, oh my God, right?
It's fun. It is a lot of fun. And
Oh
everybody at
yeah.
the gym, at least the gym I go to, nobody has an ego there. Nobody's trying to prove anything. We're all pretty much hobbyists. So we are there
Yeah.
to learn, to, learn these moves, practice these moves, get better at these moves. And whether you're a higher belt or lower belt, everyone's working together.
Mm-hmm. No, I did that. I did combat. I like, that's the thing. Like it's honest. I think that's the thing what I like about it too. There's a certain honesty in it, like, because it's just you against somebody else. Like you're talking about surviving the round. Eventually, you're going to start winning if you haven't
Well,
already
it
won.
teaches you to be okay with failure,
Yeah.
because
No. Yeah.
I'm not going to win every round. And that's okay, because I'll learn something. Like there's another lady who's my age at the gym. She's fast. And I made one mistake, and I recognized the mistake I made, and she got me.
Yeah.
Like submission within 15 seconds. And I recognized that, I screwed up. She saw the move, she saw the opening. She took it. Like that learning through failure. I won't make that mistake again.
No, but not with her, or it'll be even faster next time, right? Because
Exactly.
I mean, it might be casual, but that lady, it sounds like she's a killer. I mean, again,
she's awesome.
Oh no, she might be like legitimately the sweetest person ever. But but
I mean, just about everyone is. It's funny. We're trying to kill each other, but we're like joking, nice, sweet, happy people. High-fiving each other
because you're getting it all in a positive way. I mean, that's the other thing too. I mean, the other part of it is, like, look, we do have aggressive tendencies as a species, but in this environment, you're getting it out. And because it's jujitsu primarily. I'm boxing too, by the way.
Oh yeah. We have striking, and I go to the workout classes, the striking classes, the grappling classes, and then there's a mixed class.
So eventually, you're going to be like performing in front of the state. This is like your author presentation.
See, and I'm not competitive though. I'm not.
No, it's not going to be competitive, because there's going to come a point. There's going to come a point with you. It's not going to be a competition anymore. You're just going to know how to do what you're going to do and do it. Who wants to be a giraffe today? It's like, I'm like, oh no, not again. Right? But I mean, and I'm joking with this, but like you're it's never going to be about winning or losing with you, ever. But there is going to be that confidence, that quiet confidence, that you're going to be able to go into a room and take care of yourself. And right, even if you don't win, you're going to be the last person they want to deal with.
And learning to be okay with failure helps to build your confidence in other areas. I can go into a situation that I'm nervous about something and ask myself, what's the worst that's going to happen? Yeah. Am I going to go get punched in the face? No, I'm not. What's the worst that's going to happen? And it lowers the anxiety a little bit.
Well, sure. Because
if I have a bad day, I know I can go to the gym and punch the shit out of the bags.
Yeah.
And I'm going to burn off all of the aggression that's built up. It's really helpful in a lot of ways.
That's what I love about going to metal shows. Because all that aggression's in there. But it's healthy aggression. Like it's not okay, yeah, we're like, if you're in the pit, you're bumping into people as hard as you can. But there's also this unwritten rule. You knock someone down, you help them up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, right, it's this unwritten rule. And I've learned that, right? So you'll find that people that go to metal shows, people that do MMA, like, again, it has that healthy outlet for that aggression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if I don't go to the gym for a while, I can feel like I need to expend some energy to get myself back to the, the baseline, the calm point.
I have to, even when I'm working in, like, this is the hardest thing about working, like, on the keyboard, is I have to, because again, I spent so many years working in a warehouse that like physically, that physical exertion is still very much in my core.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily need to lift 50 pounds anymore. I don't want to do that. Right, 50 pounds a block. I can do it. Like, I can still comfortably, confidently do it and stack and look pretty and all that stuff. And I am very well aware that I'm not but I'm also not the same guy anymore. But I still need that. I still need that energy to go in a constructive place, or I'm going to be anxious.
Yep.
Right. And not in like I have anxiety. I just have all this energy inside and nowhere to put it. And it's like, right. I don't suffer from anxiety or like I have days, I'm sure, where I'm depressed, but I don't think that's a mental health thing. That's more of there are just good days and there are bad days, and on bad days, I just, I get my ass kicked. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to feel sorry for myself for a few minutes. That's just the way it is. Right. And,
Yep.
that's it. I don't necessarily think that's, in my case at least, I don't think it's a mental health thing. I think it's more like it's just normal. I'm doing great. Yeah. If I'm not doing so great, oh fuck. Right. And I think that's just an honest, right.
For me, it is very helpful mental health wise.
Mm-hmm.
Like I need that outlet because
yeah, no, oh yeah, no,
without it, like the lows are really, really low.
Yeah, because again, now you have this healthy outlet for it. Now it's gone. You're like, okay, I can process things now, and I can move forward with my day, and it's not a hang up anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and like I said, the confidence angle too. I can walk into a room where I would be nervous about a situation and ask myself, am I getting punched in the face here? No, I'm not. What's the worst that's going to happen if I screw up right now? Is the world going to end? No, I'm good. I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a little bit more of that inner confidence.
Yeah,
because I go get my ass kicked for fun.
but again, it's the worst that can happen syndrome, right? Right. You've been through it. You've rolled around. You survived. You're thriving. What else is there? Right? What else is there? There's no right, and that's all it has to be, really. Right? That's all it has to be. It doesn't have to be complex in any way, shape, or form. It just simply has to be, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. And ta-da, done.
I still got to work on the people pleasing angle, though.
Yeah, again, it's see, that's just it. For me, I've been the most reviled guy in the room, so it's okay, right? Like, no, it can be kind of fun, actually.
To be the villain?
Yeah, it's fun.
Embrace the villainy?
Yeah, it's fun. Because especially if sometimes that no matter what you're going to do, you're going to be the bad guy. That gives you, so if you have that, there's actually, so again, there's a freedom that comes with that now.
Allowing yourself to be the bad guy.
Well, yeah, there's a freedom now.
Yeah.
Now I'm not trying to please anybody, and I don't have to, because no matter what I do, I'm going to be the bad guy anyway, right? Well, if I'm going to be the bad guy, I'm going to be the bad guy.
I like that. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, right. If that's the role you want, I can do it. Right? It's that simple. Right? I don't have to. But again, it's about if you want what I look at with individuals is I look at, okay, is there any way I can change that perception? Like, honestly, is it a misunderstanding, a miscommunication, something?
Sure.
Right? Well, if it's not, if it's like, okay, well, it doesn't really matter what I do, this is just the perception I'm going to get going forward. Okay. Right?
Quiet acceptance. All right.
Yeah, no, it's like, okay. Like, it's not what I was going for, but since I'm here, right?
You want me to be the bad guy? All right. I'll be the bad guy.
Oye, mi chico. Let's do it. That's it, right? I don't have to be, again, I'm not trying to get in anyone's way of doing whatever they want to do. But I'm not going to how to put this? Yeah. That's absolutely it.
Be the best bad guy you can be.
Damn right.
I'm gonna do it right.
Well, okay. Like I said, I could use Trump as an example, but I've seen this in politics. I've seen this in sales. I've seen this the bad being, how to put this, being a quote to quote a comic book I read a long time ago, being a bastard works. Right. It
Yeah,
does
I
work.
mean, I can't argue with that. Yeah.
Yeah, being about now again, it's about what you can live with. I'm not like
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
don't
you
want
have
to
to
hurt.
look yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and be okay with
That's
it.
right. That's yeah. No, right. And that's it. You have to. Yeah, okay. If in this environment I'm this, I'm X, then I'll be X. But again, I'm not gonna. I have my own code of honor. So
You can be the bad guy for the right reason.
yeah, I think parents learn that one. I think as
Oh,
parents.
yeah, you have to be. And I even tell my kids a lot of times, look, I set the rules. You either go abide by them or break them. You make the choice
Yeah.
as to what is going to happen, and I have to act accordingly. So you're kind of making me be the bad guy here because I'm enforcing this consequence.
Mhm.
That's on you.
Yeah.
But I will do this because my job is to turn you into a solid citizen by the time you're 18. So you got to learn consequences.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine. Learning consequences is
But
totally
to
a
do that, you have to be the bad guy because you're going to piss them off. You're not going to be their friend. They're going to hate you for that moment. So yeah, it's becoming the bad guy for the right reason.
yeah. No. Well, or but also one of the things I've learned too is you can't control people's reactions to you. Like that.
No,
Like you can't.
and their
And
reaction is based off of their perception.
that's right. Right. And that's and so again, can you change that? Right. And honestly, and this is again, this is an older thing. Should you have to?
Well, if you're going back to the sales and marketing, yeah, that is your job in sales and marketing is to change their perception.
No, no. See there, I actually I had a very different thought with that, and that was
Okay, go
this.
for it.
I'm s- I am my job is to get a reaction. I want you to really like it or I want you to really hate it.
Okay,
Nothing in the middle.
okay.
I don't want an apathy. I want you to either really love this or really hate this. Because and I think this is actually true of not just marketing, this is writing in general.
But that is changing their perception.
It can, it can, but again, but I think the default setting is apathy.
Okay,
I think that's the thing. I don't think the default setting is they like you or they hate you. I think the default setting is apathy.
I can agree to that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So the goal then is to change, and this is telling stories, doing art, all those things. Is go from apathy, right, to an impression,
Okay.
right? Sometimes when people hate you, they subscribe to you more, right? Right. There was a Howard Stern Howard Stern was the first guy to do this. They did a study on who listened to his show back when it was really hot in the 90s. The people that loved him would average listening 45 minutes.
I remember this one. Yes.
Yeah, right. But the people that
Yep.
hated him, I would average 90. They would double the time.
Because they want to see what he's gonna say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they hated it. So think about that. There are people that literally spend 90 minutes dealing with things they hated. Think about that for a minute. Like the psychology behind that. Right?
It makes sense because go back to your own personal perception. And you said you're not an anxious person, so you might not understand this as well. But for most anxious people who spend all the time in their heads replaying the shit that went wrong, I mean, that's
I've done that. Like I've been that guy, right?
yeah. I mean, that we do that. We do it to ourselves when we don't have to, but we do. It's the same thing.
So almost, I'm gonna push back slightly. Self-awareness is good. Like self-awareness is a really, really good thing. And pushing back is like, okay, could I have done it differently? I think that's healthy. I think that's actually a really good, honest perception.
But you don't have to dwell on it as long
No,
as people will.
that's the line. That's
And
the
we
line.
focus so hard on it forever. We
Yes.
hold it forever like a grudge.
Yeah, and sometimes you just want to go, and sometimes you just want to go and confront, right?
But again, back to the Howard Stern thing, it's that same thing, that drama. we want to be part of that drama if we hate something, and so that's why they're listening for extra amount of time.
Yeah, well, I guess
They're
it's just
looking for the thing to hate.
it's one of those weird parts of the human psychology that I don't I get it. It has to do with passion. We as a species have a tendency to do passionate things and want to be passionate about. So that's why we talk about television shows we love. That's why we talk about hockey teams. It's why we do these things, right? We don't do these things for the reason of we don't do these things for the reason of we want to hate or love, but we just have this tendency to gravitate towards.
Is a form of passion, though.
No, it is. That's actually what I'm getting to, right? It is a form of passion. It's that, like, I don't think we necessarily. Again, I don't think this is just this may be my humble, modest, like, supervillain origin story. I didn't aspire to hate people, right? I didn't aspire to hate certain people. What ended up happening was, I got exposed to something I really couldn't stand for some reason, and then I became obsessed with it. And I think as a species, we are geared to obsess over things. That's just part of who we are. It's understanding our obsessions.
So then from the sales and marketing perspective, you're trying to tap into that obsession.
Absolutely. One way or the other.
Whether it's love or hate. Yeah.
Yeah. And right, whether it's love or hate, it doesn't matter. There's only two things I have to do: curiosity and self-interest. If I can get you curious, curiosity is actually more important than self-interest in this case.
That's why clickbait is so
because
powerful.
Because curiosity is again. I remember I think I've told you this story before. I did an autograph signing in this place in Calgary, in Kensington, and I put arrows on the street, and it was such a fascinating thing because people followed it to the door.
Where does it go?
Yeah.
It's
a simple thing. Curiosity.
It's like the do not press this button. What does it do? Why can't I press it?
Well, that hits two things. That's curious. No, if it's just the red button by itself. That's actually the better example. It's just the red button. It doesn't say do not press or anything like that. Because if you say do not press, now you're also trying to order somebody around. So you're kind of hitting two different things.
Yeah, you hit that oppositional defiance.
Yeah, you're right. But just the red button by itself, just put a red button somewhere. You make people play.
What does it do?
Yeah, exactly.
Press it.
That's what happens. That's the way to do it. That's the way. You're curious. It's like, what the hell does this thing do? Right? That's such a norm. Again, these are normal reactions, right? And that's that's the thing, right? It's about tapping into that first. Then the second part is, okay, why should I care? The self-interest.
Yep.
I don't look at things. I don't look at things quite the same way. Again, as I've hit 40, I've kind of reevaluated certain things. One of the things I've reevaluated is what we value and why we value these things, the ideal and reality behind them. A lot of people think self-interest is a bad thing. I don't necessarily think self-interest is a bad thing. There's an enlightened self-interest aspect of things, right? Look, even when I'm helping people, I'm getting something out of it, right? And it can be just as simple as I was there for you.
It's the good feeling of helping somebody.
Yeah. It could be you do get something from it.
Yep.
But that may not be why you do it. But no. I mean, there's
different motivations for why you do.
Oh yeah, totally. But there is always a little touch of self-interest in everything we do. And realizing that, it's like, that's not in itself inherently a bad thing. So I don't look at self-interest anymore as this. Some people will go, well, this is a terrible thing. It's like, no, I don't. I don't think it's a terrible thing. It's only terrible if it hurts other people. That's the only time it's actually really terrible. Now, you can make a choice of how. I think there are lines of unhealthiness for sure. But the concept of, okay, I have to look for a place to live by August 1st. If I don't get a place by August 1st, I will be having to deal with the consequences of that, right? One way or the other, right? That's real. It's in my best interest to look for another place. So I'm doing that as we speak, right? In my comics, like I have a zillion things on the plate too. So it's like I'm trying to do stuff, but again, all of this is in my self-interest. I'm trying to purge stuff because I don't need stuff anymore. I want to do it. I want to make some money for it. I don't necessarily need to make top dollar, but I want a fair deal for what I have, right? None of this in itself is inherently bad, right? Now let's say, well, I'm going to look for a home. I don't care. I don't care what I do in the place I'm at, right? Well, then that's a very different environment, right? That's a very different level, right? Now it's being malicious on top of it. And that's where it can get really unhealthy. But I don't necessarily punish self-interest anymore, because the truth of the matter is, I think we all need that, because again, thinking about community thinking, especially last year, it's just like it's a weird dichotomy, because we can't get everything we want because we're in a community together. But if we get nothing we want, what's the point of the community we have? And that's the challenge, right? Yeah.
You compromise in order to continue.
Absolutely. There's a compromise somewhere in that.
Yeah.
There's a compromise, but something both things can live with. Okay, in society, I can't kill people, which is definitively a good thing. Right? Not probably, definitively, folks. I'm not gonna out myself on the air. But at the same time, right? Okay, if I'm playing by these rules, what do I get out of it? Right? And there's a little bit of that, and for everybody, there's a little bit of what's in it for me.
Yeah, there is.
Right? So,
because if there was nothing, there would be no motivation to continue.
Exactly. Right? That's the challenge. Right? That's for lack of a better term, the negotiation. Right? And then so ultimately it's about, and again, too much one way, right, for the good of all usually becomes the good of a very few people if it goes to the one extreme. If it's for the good of just to yourself, then it goes to the other extreme. Right. So it's like, okay, so how do we meet in the middle, right? And which way do we? And if it's not going to be perfect, some things are going to go completely more towards the community, and rightfully so. Some things are going to go to the individual, and rightfully so. And there's going to be some things that's going to be like, I don't know, right? Right. And I think that's the real challenge. I no longer look at any one mindset necessarily as a bad thing. What I look for is the actions of people and how they use it.
Okay. That's a very good way to look.
Yeah, that's what I look at. That's like, again, I don't know if I'm right about everything. Lord knows, probably not. But,
only a fool thinks they're the smartest man in the room.
Or terrifyingly so, if you are the smartest man in the room, then you're in the wrong room. Right?
There's always something that can be brought to the table.
Sure. Oh no. There's always something to learn. It's about what you can teach. Right? It's about what you can be taught. You have to be open to it. Right? If you're dealing with a closed door, there's nothing that can be done.
Well, it's like, what is it? The Dunning-Kruger effect. The people who think they are the smartest are often usually not. And the ones who are thinking that they are at the low point in intelligence or skills or whatever are always striving to do better and tend to actually be better than the ones who are boasting about it.
Yeah, there's no need to boast. Like, honestly, there's not. Real confidence is when you can actually just look at your stuff and go, again, I'm not talking the advertisement, hey, I'm awesome.
The difference between confidence and cocky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, pretty much I watched an interview I'm a wrestling fan. I'm not going to apologize for it, but with Roman Reigns, one of the things he talked about, there was a confidence in. He talked about like the amount of money he made. Well, he's the champion. Like how many people came to see him, and he's made more money than any other performer ever. Even accounting for inflation, his number's insane. Like his number's absolutely insane. He never talks about it because I don't have to. Because what's the like this is the way it is. Like anybody has come before me, put all their years to just one of mine. That is the confidence to say that, but also the fact that you can back it up. There's nothing to say, right? What is there to say? The numbers speak for themselves, right? So that is when you know you're absolutely confident, right? It's like me. I'm excited I'm at 1,000 episodes. I don't need to say it though. The number speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm. And that's an achievement right there.
Yeah,
That's a
absolutely.
lot of work you put in.
Absolutely. Will
And it
work.
is work. It is so much work
Yeah,
to
uh-huh.
orchestrate that many episodes.
Oh, it's incredible. Like it's incredible, right? And it's one of those things where um I never set out to do it. Like this is just been a wild ride the whole way through, right? And it's been a and it's interesting. Like looking back, I think the biggest thing it taught me was to have an open mind, right? That's what it taught me. I don't know. Like your show, how many shows have you done? Because you've done a lot too.
I don't count them. Back to the passion thing. I don't do it for the views. I don't do it for the algorithms. I do it because for me, it's hanging out and chatting with my people. And that
Yeah.
is what keeps it going. So I don't even really count anymore. It's just, are we doing a show this week? Cool.
Hmm. Yeah. No, that's no. It's yeah. No, you and Jane are such a hoot.
Jay came back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He did 2 episodes. I want to say like last month. And we said, hey, you are always welcome. Join us whenever you feel like you want to.
How is he?
I'd say, well, he doesn't post a lot, so I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm going to reach out to him personally. I would like to have him before it goes.
Yeah.
I would like to have him before it goes. He would be. I don't know if you've been paying attention or not. These last 100 episodes I've been doing, it's been a mix. It's been a mix, but part of the mix has been some of my favorite guests from every era have been
Oh,
in this last.
cool.
Oh yeah. So the very first episodes I would do an audio. I had some of those people on for the very first time in
Aw.
this 900. People during like the pandemic audio area, right, which was a slightly different era. That's when I started really blowing up. I had some of them on for the first time. Then some of my favorite like guests always like just like I was like from any era, and it's been wild because I like the other thing about this whole show is I've watched. We have all played. I talked to JD Estrada came on the show a few weeks ago.
I love chatting with him. He's so
Oh
cool.
no, I do. Do you know one of our big like he actually was talking about coming on. So I love coming on your show because I don't know what we're going to talk about. We ended up talking about what would you rather get hit. Manita was there, get hit by a car or punched by Mike Tyson, right? I mean that was that was a conversation point, right?
Yeah.
That was a conversation point.
Those are the best conversations. And that was kind of like with Spilling Ink. We veered away from standard interview format because you weren't getting the real person.
No, you have to walk away from it. Like you
Yeah.
have like it's cool to have like it. So panel shows you want topics because again it keeps everybody
You've got to guide everyone. Yeah. Because
yeah
otherwise it goes completely off the rails.
yeah you have to have that. But when you're just one like when I do these shows, right? Um, when I do these shows, I get to talk to you about anything. Like I found out
Yeah.
I found out now that I will never want to go into a front face lock with you ever, because there's the different ways you just twist me around. Come back. It's like, Josh, you look like an accordion. What happened? Katie decided to play me.
It's so
Right?
much fun. It's involuntary yoga, or somebody, I can't claim this one, but folding clothes while people are still wearing them.
Yeah. No, jujitsu.
I love the ways they describe it.
No, like so again, I'm also an MMA fan. One of my favorite. Yeah, no,
Oh,
yes, but
definitely.
no, and yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. You have topics that can go off the rails, but there's like, how to put this. There's a guidepost, right? And when you have a guidepost, you can, if you want to be the lion tamer, right? Now it depends too. I've gone both ways on this, right? If the conversation's much more entertaining where we're at than where we started, I tend to keep it there. But if we're trying to actually like get a point across, then
Yeah.
it's like you're right. Then you got to be the ringleader. But
Rein everything
to
back in. Come on, guys, back on topic.
but on that one, folks, anyone listening and doing a podcast, to each your own there. Like to
Yeah.
each your own.
Well, and that's what keeps it. Like I said, I don't do Spilling Ink for the numbers or the algorithms, because I enjoy chatting with my people.
Yeah,
And that's what
absolutely.
it's all about.
Absolutely. No, I thoroughly enjoy it too. Like I said, I'm going to take a bit of a break. Like at least unofficial like unofficially I'm going to be off. I'm looking forward to it. Like just not. It's gonna be weird too because I'm so used to doing this now, right? It's so.
Change is difficult.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be so weird, but it's necessary to like for me, for what I really want to do with this is so. I have a buddy. It's giving me some kind of like little bits of driving lessons right now. Because again, in spite of everything I'm doing, I'm still moving forward my master goal and vision of
Sure.
taking the show on the road. So I'm doing that. I'm studying stuff for driver's license stuff because I'm getting my license in the States. God bless America for being the country it is, and that's all I'm going to say there. And Katie's like, I know what you mean, and yeah, like. God bless America. But also like I've been looking at cars, I've been looking at things to like I've been looking at things to work on and do, and it looks incredible. It looks absolutely like incredible, and but again, the road to get there might be a little longer than I wanted to. All right,
Yeah.
but again, there's an acceptance to that. So now I'm going to just pivot and do what I'm supposed to do, short term, and then in the long term. And in the meantime, and anyone's listening, need client work, videos, audios, give me a shout. I'm good at those things, or I'm getting
There
good
you
at those
go.
things. There you go, right? So, but I mean, that's it, right? I've learned some very valuable lessons in the sense that life does not go the way according to plan. Never does. Never ever
Life
does.
is Murphy's Law.
So do you want to hear? Do you want? So you know what frightened me was the commentary. So my chemistry teacher had Murphy's Law on his wall, but he had that big. My chemistry teacher in high school, Mr. Finley, if you are listening to this, hi. He was retiring. He basically retired last year there. So I don't know if he's still, yeah. I broke him. No, I'm kidding. He was one of a kind dude, though. He was an amazing teacher. He had Murphy's Law, but the commentary on Murphy stuck with me more than Murphy's Law did. You want to hear the commentary?
Uh-huh.
Murphy was an optimist. Think about that.
I'm positive everything is going to go to hell.
No, it's like I actually see that's one way of looking at it. That's not the way I interpreted that. Actually, I interpreted it. I actually a little bit more horrifying. It's actually worse than what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worse than what he's saying. Right? It's just life is chaos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have a plan. Try and execute the plan. Never tell anyone the plan. Never tell anyone the plan. That's what enacts Murphy's Law. As soon as you tell somebody the plan.
No, I don't worry about it, because even if I tell someone, even if I don't tell someone the plan, then it goes to shit anyway. Right. I've learned this. My nature needs just by my nature, I need to be out in the open. Like if I try secret plans, it tends to blow up in my face. If I'm out in the open with it, things happen.
Okay.
Like I said, today was oddly a good clarifier of that.
Well,
So
good.
yeah, it just the joy. Like I said, I'm going to enjoy being the bad guy for the next little while. It's gonna be fun, and that freedom's a wonderful thing. Like man, it's perception's everything,
Hmm.
right? So that is it, and that is the way. That that is probably like I said, it's been a wonderful ride. I gotta get Anita. But speaking of which, Anita, I gotta get you on the show before it all wraps up too. Yeah. So if you are listening, we'll have to set up a time sometime next week maybe and do it because that I have Mr. Rodney fight. Oh, that's the other thing that came out. I got my first edited comic credit on Kickstarter right now. Yeah, comics are fun. They're different. They're a little bit different.
Oh yeah.
They
Oh
are
yeah.
they are super fun, and yeah, no, it's cool. Like I never again I broke into comics in my 40s. That happened. It's like, what was your accomplishments this year? Well, I got comics out. I worked on a video show. I let's see what other crazy shit did I do this year? Done more commercial work. Yeah, like just like sometimes when you think you're doing nothing, you're still doing everything. And that's the other thing. Is like,
And it's good
yeah,
to go back and look at those things so you can remind yourself that yes, you did accomplish these things.
yeah. The thing I'm proudest of, honestly, this year is I owed an artist some money because just pandemic and stuff like that. I was able to pay him off fully.
That's an accomplishment.
Yes. That one's my favorite one. That one. No, honestly, everything I did this year, that was the thing I was proudest the most doing.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
since February, like freelancing's been really good to me, like really good to me. Um, Even though this month's been a little different, I get the feeling this month was also about kind of like a real. It's been like a feel like a real alignment month
Mm.
because things are gonna have to change, and so you have to kind of okay, Mr. Pants, you are going to have to change directions a little bit.
Plot twist.
So, but it was okay. Like some of the things I was putting up with because I was trying to get on the road and I was doing
Mhm.
everything I can to do it. And now that I'm not going on the road, I don't have to put up with these things anymore. So I'm not going to. Right, that is the way it goes.
It
Right,
gained
and
new perspective.
yeah, because again, I'm in a different place.
Hmm.
I still turns out it's like okay. I don't generally accept. I wouldn't normally generally accept some of that stuff anyway, but now it's like okay, you know what? Yeah.
And now you're moving forward with the new perspective.
Hmm. Exactly. And that's it. Uh, so I should get like a leather jacket. Should I get a leather jacket or an obnoxious cape? Like which one? Right. And I'm
What are you going
talking
to
like
get more use out of?
the leather jacket's much more useful, but there is something about the tackiness. So Spawn's cape is ridiculous. I don't know if you've ever seen the character Spawn from like the
Hmm.
comic books.
Hmm.
This cape's stupid. Like seriously, it's unbelievably stupid. I would never say it to Spawn's face because he'd own my
Of course
ass,
not.
right? But you can't stand in it. It's not practical. It's so long. It's so long. I'm actually legitimately afraid it would trip up not just Spawn, but everybody behind him for like a block because it's that big and like any natural klutz around it. Like if I wanted to turn Spawn into a comedy, that would be the first gag. He would show up all menacing and awesome. All of a sudden you hear people go thud thud thud. Ow! Stupid red cape.
Yep.
Why does it have to be so long? Right? But
I mean, then go for that. Although
yeah,
I always lean towards what am I going to get the most use out of? Because you
that's
can be
that
audacious on a
that,
daily
that,
basis too.
I am ambitious on a daily basis, Kate. Haven't you not noticed? Right? like that's just it, right? But that is where we're at. It is one of those things where I've learned like, again, one of those things I've learned is like you can have fun and with any situation, even a not so great one, at least in the moment, not so great one. But ultimately, but again, here's the other weird thing. I kind of look at some of these things as blessings in disguise,
Mm-hmm.
right? Some of these things are blessings in disguise because they tend to sometimes pulling away from certain things is actually a wonderful thing.
True. We learn best through adversity, even though it's not a pleasant way to learn. And sometimes having things taken away or forcing you to alter your course, as uncomfortable as it can be, ends up being for the right reasons. And you come away with that.
Rule 8, stay uncomfortable. Right? Stay uncomfortable and
Mm-hmm.
take some things away and see what comes out of them. Right? It's been a long 3 years of me being a freelancer. It's been a long 3 years of me learning how to do it, like be a businessman. Right?
Yep. And
Yeah.
you've learned a lot along the way. You've
Sure.
made your mistakes.
Lots of them. Still making them.
Mm-hmm.
1 million mistakes, no regrets. That's going to be my life. I'm good with that.
I'm
First
in the
thing,
same boat. I'm a professional mistake maker.
the first thing I'm going to do is when I see guys like, God, I'm going to fuck up. It's okay. This is how I did. All right. Take accountability for your shit. It's always great. It's always great. I've learned it, and it's a wonderful thing. And it's a very 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 how to put this? It's freeing. Again, everything I've learned in the last, when we're younger, we seem to always go down the path that would trap us. When we're older, we just come to this realization: I don't need that shit no more.
Well, you did say you hit 40, which that starts the fuck it years. Fuck it,
I
I'm
bet.
doing it my way.
Oh, I started a little early, but yes,
It
but
is
yeah,
true. Right around 40, you hit the fuck it years. You're like, you know what? I'm doing it my way.
yeah. This don't work, or this is stupid. It's either this don't work or this is stupid.
Yep.
Right?
Fuck
That's
it.
it. Yeah.
I'm doing it my way.
Exactly. So, how's the writing going?
I haven't written anything for myself in such a long time. I miss it.
You should do it.
I've been ghostwriting so much, I don't have the mental space to do
I,
my own work. So, I
do
mean,
you,
it's a good thing, obviously, because it means I've been busy, but I do miss writing for myself too.
yeah. Yeah. No, I understand. It's something I gotta get into ghostwriting more than I already am. That's actually probably one of the other steps I gotta go into. I don't mind it. Like I said, I'm doing it now. Um,
I had to give up a bit of ego, but it was a good backing away because I don't have a lot of ego to begin with. But when I write something, I always treat everything like it's my story. So it's given the same amount of care and passion, and not having my name on it at the end. It's like, oh, but it's okay. It's okay to not have to have my name on things.
I've written for other properties. Like I've written for other properties, and one of the things I've come to understand is it's not mine. There's still a little bit of that letting go process. It's hard,
Yep.
but it's not okay. Like the show I did for the immigration company, it was never my show. Like I
Hmm.
realized this, like in my head, I realized it at the very beginning. Like the show I built, for however long I'm here, is going to be the show.
Yeah,
When it's over, it's
you
going
walk
to
away.
continue. No, yeah, it's going to continue without me,
Hmm.
right? Even though I'm passionate about it, I helped build it. I'm passionate about it. It will. It's not mine.
Right.
I'm not paying for it. Somebody else is. So if they tell me, Josh, you're not needed anymore, which they eventually did. Hold on a second here.
That's a big comment. Wow.
Yeah. Either Taiwan or the criminal edge. Yeah, there's actually a lot of it. Yeah, no, she has a very, very good. I can't show all of the comment, but because I'm going to read it out here. When it comes to change, you can do it two ways: either the towering wall or the crumbling ledge. If you see it as the wall, then every time you approach it, you're going to turn around because without the proper equipment, hold on, folks, you can't scale it. Computer. My computer's decided to come in. Okay.
Oh,
There. Oh no, 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 no! Don't hit that button.
did you lose it?
No, I didn't lose it.
Okay.
Because without the proper equipment, you can't scale it. So you end up starting it in the cycle. If you see there's a crumbling ledge, then you approach it, it'll start to fall away, but your feet and the thought of the free fall is scary. But it actually doable. These fucking moments are when you let go of the wall as an option and approach the ledge. That's it. No, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Right? Totally agree with you, Tavia memories. So it is like people. A lot of people view change as an uncomfortable thing. I view change as a necessary thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I view change as a necessary thing.
It can still be uncomfortable even if it's necessary.
Oh, absolutely.
Both.
Yeah. Right. But it's life. Life forces you to move forward, and whether you want to or not. So the question then becomes, what do you want, and where do you want to go next? Yep. Yeah, absolutely. You got to take a step. You got to take a step, Tavia memories. That is absolutely 100% correct. In either case, the outcome is unknown, and your brain is never going to back you up on walking into the unknown. Action must come first.
Yes,
that's right.
Your brain likes comfort. It likes what it's familiar with.
Comfort
Even
kills.
in tragedy, your brain leans towards the familiar.
There, it's forgivable. Tragedy, like comfort, is good there, right?
But you're the familiar tragedy is sometimes what your brain leans towards because it's familiar.
Oh, absolutely. No, like we lean towards familiarity of everything, our good shit and our bad shit, both.
Mm-hmm.
We both do, like, and some of it, and it comes down to what you can consciously live with, right? For example, I'm getting rid of a shit ton of comic books. I'm still buying comic books. Why? I like them, right?
Yep.
Now, I don't buy as many. And I probably will buy less and less as years go on. I think there's going to come. I don't know if there's ever going to be a point where I completely stop buying comics, but I also can see a time where it's not a every month thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The brain doesn't care if comfort's positive or negative. The point is, it's known. If it's going to lead you to a shitty place, at least you know it's a shitty place. Who knows where the unknown is going to take us? Yep. No, it's so true. Right? Like that's it. Like that's the scary part about comfort. Comfort kills us. Right? Mm-hmm. We have to be aware of. Now, I'm not saying, and I'm going to make this absolutely clear. Having food in your belly, a roof over your head are things that I don't consider just comfort, but necessities. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's not quite the same thing. Although, again, in this life there are no rules. I'm not going to tell some people to take a leap, not to like. There is value in sometimes risking it all. I'm not saying you should do it all the time, but there, right? Yeah, absolutely. I have a great story about that. Tabby memories. I don't remember since, but Cumber's a dream killer. Give a man 3 meals in a warm bed, and he about to throw his dreams right out the window. He's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. I don't know who Tavia is. So Tavia is absolutely correct because I have a buddy of mine, incredibly talented. I had a great job, sick of his job, but he kept it probably years longer than he should because it paid excessively well. He wanted the money. There's no crime in that, but his passion was telling him you needed to do something else, and he never. Only now is he's finally starting to do it. Now he'll do fantastic. I think he's an incredibly talented dude, right? But I don't think he's going to, or I would have loved to have seen him do it 5 years ago or 6 years ago, because I think he'd be in a much happier place personally. Now, he's not here to defend himself. I'm not going to name names. So but it's something because again, it's never that cut and dry, but the lesson is still very valuable. If you have everything, it's very hard. Again, it's very hard to move away from everything. It's when you don't have those things, right? Like, okay, I worked at Pure Later for 10 years. Now I gotta say, probably for 7 or 8 of them, I needed the place. It helped me tremendously. But did I really year 9 or year 10? Looking back, maybe not. But the wage was good. The work was manageable. I had a great gig, and why would I walk away? Right? It wasn't quite 10 years, but close enough. Right? Close enough that. But I realized if I'd stayed to the 10th year, I would have had a month's vacation. I would have had great benefits. I never would leave the company at that point. And that's not a. And I don't. This is, by the way, I'm not denigrating the company at all. Like, at all. It's about what I want. If I really want something, I have to really make it happen. Are you there?
I'm reading the comment.
Yeah. No, no, you're absolutely. Hey, listen, I get it. There is a very good chance next month I'm flipping the next few weeks I'm flipping burgers. But it's such a different place. It's in such a different place right now because I don't fully need the job. Right? And that's such a wonderful spot to be in when you go into somewhere because you can. That is such a different feeling. Right? That is such a different feeling. That's like I work at the Saddle Dome, which is the NHL hockey team.
Mm.
It is such a cool job. It doesn't pay it like what it should. I'm not going to denigrate. It doesn't. But but at the same time, what a cool job, because I get to go all over the building. I get to meet executives, players, people, and yeah, it's such an incredible thing. Now, my master plan was to walk away from the job in August, but the thing is, I still got the job, and I'm not walking away yet. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like that. There. Sometimes, Tavia, like good work. If the work is you enjoy the work, it's not work. Like, it's not really work. There's no such thing as a perfect job, but if you're enjoying it, you get so much more out of life.
I agree with that.
Yeah, you get so much more out of life. Now, again, there's balances. There are balances, but as a general rule of thumb, it's not rocket science. It's not rocket science, right? It's just, you go up, you do a task, you get paid for the task. If you want to, that's what you want. Great. You want to write books for a living? Write books for a living. Great. That is the true power. That is the greatest thing about this world. We have the freedom to live the life we choose.
To an extent. Sorry, everybody's stirring behind me in the house. I'm like,
no. I yeah, that is the downside. That is the downside. But it also depends on the job too, and the shifts you agree to.
Every situation is going to be different.
Yeah, absolutely. But I again, I had this epiphany a few years back. Everybody does exactly what they want to do. Now, obviously, we have responsibilities, but we choose, to some degree, we choose them too.
Yeah.
And right. So if we live the life we want to live, right? If we live a life we want to live, then it's phenomenal, right? It's phenomenal. It's fantastic, and
I think that's the goal, to get to the life you want to live.
that's it. The real sneaky thing, though, is we already do. And here's what I put. Here's what I mean. It's about what you can tolerate.
Mm-hmm.
It's about what you can tolerate as much as it is about the good. The good is what you can tolerate. If you're in an intolerable situation and you stay there, do you really want to leave?
That goes back to that question of the unknown becomes too frightening.
But but that's also a want, is it not? That want of the known versus the want of, again, the need of the unknown. That's a choice.
But your brain will always lean towards
And
what
you
it
can tell
knows.
and you can tell your brain to shut the fuck up.
Some people can, some people can't.
Listen, Homer Simpson your brain sometimes. It does work, right? 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 You go to your brain, it's like, well, what about this? It's like, you know what? Honestly, fuck it. I'm just gonna do it. Because the moment you do it, it goes silent. That's where action, that's like the action definitively comes into play. Right? It goes silent. Now it's just about the task at hand. Right? That's what I say. It's sneaky because you always are doing what you want to do. Your brain, there's a part of you that's going, I like this. This is comfortable. I know what I'm doing. Right? And that's fine. And you can have that. And by the way, if you own it, that's completely different. Because at that point, you're like, okay, this is what I want. There's no problem with that. Right? If you are, say you want something and you're not doing it, if you're right, yeah, that it's true. Yeah, exactly. Like Tavia's is right completely. There's no rules. There's no rules in this game. Like there's no. So I'm gonna read the quote and then we're gonna continue. You don't have to work. Homelessness is a valid option. You could spend your life digging through trash cans, and neither society or the world itself will kill you for it. But you don't. You get up every day and you go to work even if you don't want to. This is a situation in which something is absolutely a want, not a need. But the brain still categorizes it as a need. If we can start seeing the things we want the same way we see going to work, giving out becomes hardly a choice anymore. Like, hey, this is right. Right? There's no rules.
There's nuance to that, though.
Well, absolutely.
There's
No. Absolutely. And each nuance for each person is different. But your job personally is to understand your nuances. Because otherwise you're going to be doing what you want unconsciously, which means that your desires rule you. Talking about the brain telling you to be familiar. Now the brain rules you. Whereas if you're honest about your wants, you're honest about your own wants, and it's one thing to say, okay, this is the situation, this is the good, this is the bad, but I'm okay with it. Right? That's one thing. Right? The other is when you don't fully process that. This is where again the nuance comes in. Right?
Yeah, and
Right.
I'm gonna have to go soon because they're starting to get anxious back there.
No, okay,
But
we'll wrap this up. Okay, I'll let you can rebuke me.
no, it's as an individual, I think that works.
Yes.
But now when you have people that you are responsible for, choice is taken away because you
Absolutely.
have to care for the lives of others who are solely dependent on you.
So
that takes away a lot of your choice.
To a point. I'm going to push back slightly. To a point. You are absolutely, because there's two things about that. One, in most cases, you make that choice. They bring others into the world. If you bring others into the world, you have chosen to be responsible for them.
Yes, but that also means that during the, let's say, 18 years that you are solely responsible for them, you don't have the choices during that time.
Yeah.
So yes, you may have made an initial choice, but that is going to be an 18-year sentence then of no choice.
Yeah. And now I'm going to even push back a little bit there too, but I'll do it this way. You can't go as fast. I will grant you this. So I'm going to rebuke Tavia a little bit on this one. You're absolutely correct in the sense that we always have the freedom to choose, but there's also a point. There's a consequence to everything, right? And if you're choosing
True.
to walk away from people that you have agreed to be responsible for, that is there are some very, karma has a really funny way of biting you on that one, right?
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Karma will
absolutely.
always come back.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Okay. You can't go as fast. You have to make sure that your kids are fed. And that is priority number one,
Mhm.
undoubtedly. But priority number, but the other thing too is, um, you have to, but you can still move. My dad, my dad, when he was raising me, went back to school, got himself re-educated
Mhm.
while he was raising me. Now, again, yes, he couldn't do it quickly. Couldn't do it quickly, and you can't do it. Being an individual, the big advantage we have over someone that has responsibilities like yours is speed. I can go immediately. I can dedicate myself to it fully and heartedly, and I can get there super quick or super blah, whatever.
Mhm.
But someone with a family can't go as fast, but they can still go. And I
You
right,
can
they
take
can still,
incremental steps. Yes.
yeah, it's different. The pace is different because you're right. It's no longer just about you. It's about them. And obviously, you brought them into this world. You're going to be responsible for where they go, right? First and foremost. But that's not going to be, especially as they get older, that's not going to be every moment of every day, right?
True.
Eventually, you're going to find your own time again. Now, it might be tiny bits at first, right? But inevitably, the time will show up when you least expect it. And the question there, and this goes back to the comfort thing. At this point, because you been doing this for so long, right? Have you been doing this for so long? Are you comfortable with the process you have put yourself in doing it? Again, nuance. This is the
Mhm.
nuance of it. This is the nuance of it, right? Right? You may not shift right away because shit. I mean, I know this. Like parents apparently get no sleep for like the first 2-3 years of their life, of their kids' life or more. So I mean, you might want to take a nap for a while, and that's totally valid. But at some point in the journey, at some point in the journey, um, you have to be willing to um, you have to be willing to go out there and go, okay, I've taken care of them. What do I need right now? Right? And when you
Mhm.
get to that point, again, it may not be as fast. It's not supposed to be at that point. You've made a decision, but you'll get there.
Yeah,
And
it's
in fact,
slower incremental change, and
yeah,
again, consequences of your actions can also send you down paths that you feel you're forced to take in order to
yeah.
maintain the survival, which but again, I have to get going
No,
because
no, 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 no. It's okay, okay,
crazy.
okay.
I wish I had more time now because the conversation's getting deep and we're like already
Yeah,
like,
no, it was already. We're 90 minutes in. It's all good.
yeah.
Listen. Before you go, what do you want to plug?
I don't have anything to plug. Like I said,
That's not true. That's
I've
not
been
true.
working for so long on other stuff. I haven't written my own stuff in a while.
So you can not advertise your services. You can advertise Spilling Ink. What would you like? Like push something, and so and wherever people can find you, and then we'll
Shit.
call it a
Like I
day.
said, Spilling Ink is my passion project. It's my hanging out with my people. So that anybody who's interested in learning more about me, find my show. That is honest conversation. It is fun,
Hmm?
and that is my passion.
That's awesome. So, do you have a website that people can find you at?
Yep. See the name right there? Katie
Yeah.
Salidas. KatieSalidas.com is my internet portal to everything, all my social media and everything.
So what the heck is this?
Oh, the PTSD book. Well, that's not technically my book. That belongs to Virginia. She's the one who created the PTSD Soldier's Guide to PTSD, and our idea to turn it into a women's guide. Sure, it was a joint effort, but that is her baby, and that is her passion. She is so absolutely passionate about helping people with PTSD. So I don't claim that one because I want her stuff to shine for her.
Mhm.
That is her wonderful idea, and she is doing so much good in the world with it.
Yeah, that's fair. But here again, that little bit of ego is a good thing. Right? You know, it might be it's her baby.
We talked about that. I don't have a lot of
No, no,
ego.
no, no. But that's why I'm telling you. But this isn't just about you either. This is a good book. So say something about it,
Yeah.
right? Because honestly, it sounds like it's a really cool thing and it's important. So you probably should just mention something.
Yeah, the Women's Guide to PTSD is called Acknowledge and Heal. And we came up with the title because first you have to acknowledge what you've been through before you can heal. And so we talk about it on both levels, the different things that women specifically go through that are traumatic and that cause PTSD, because PTSD isn't just a soldier's issue. It affects a lot of us. And so this one was specifically geared towards women, the situations that women go through. There are real life stories in there to go along with some of the items we talk about and ways to find help. And again, Virginia is doing wonderful work with this stuff. And that is, she is so super passionate. And I know she is helping a lot of people with it.
That's fantastic. All right, folks, we're going to wrap this up super quick. Right? We're going to wrap this up super quick. So for everybody watching, I have a Patreon page. If you want to see where the podcast is going, post 1,000, you can do so right now. Just Josh and Podcast page. Oh, I did the Train Professional right there, folks. Train Professional. Let me do that again. Come on, touch typing. Don't fail me now. Okay. Patreon.com / Just Josh and Podcast. Definitely check this out. Right? And definitely check this out. And you can see the future episodes going on right there, right now. So beyond all that, folks, that'll do it. I don't know when my next episode is going to be just yet. I got Rodney Fike on the 19th. Beyond that, I probably gonna have one or two sneak in there beforehand. But for everybody watching, everybody listening, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Stay inspired. Keep shining in the dark. And I'll see you guys next time.